remember the first LIV Golf press conference. There was an issue. There were questions there that were, I mean, you weren't allowed to ask certain things about the Saudi government. I mean, there were like big bouncers there throwing people out, or ready to throw people out. So, I mean, that's not going to happen on the PGA Tour in a press conference. But Jay Monahan.
I'm not so sure. Wait, Pete, I'm not so sure. I've been to a lot of PGA events, and I'm not so sure that if somebody starts to ask questions about LIV and the Saudi government, if they'll get away with it in that moment, but then they will be banned or they will be tossed out from future press conferences.
I don't think they can do that here. I don't think they could do that at a PGA event here, Ed, because it's just too many. Not in this day and age. Jay Monahan would look like a fool, and he can't do it. They're not going to give out a memo saying what you can and can't ask. Not going to happen. Even if they did, people like Chris and myself, we're not going to abide by that. We're going to ask the question. And if they're afraid to answer it, even if they dilly-dally and tiptoe around it or give All the President's Men rep non-denial denials, one of my favorite movies, by the way, at least
and a great line.
At least there's someone to acknowledge it. If some PR guy says, "Oh no, we're not doing this," then that's a big cover-up, and that's a big. They look like fools. I don't see that happening.
I do, and Chris, this comes down to those of us who try to cover things on a journalistically correct basis. If you get that, I've been to PGA press conferences before, a long time ago, but I've been there where they've said, where questions have started to be asked about personal items, and they cut it off. Okay, that's personal. And I get that. You don't want to get into this. But I want one reporter somewhere to stand and say, how do you feel about taking money from a government that executes journalists? That's all. Ask that question. And then I want to see what the answer is. And I think
there's some really good golf writers out there, including Alan Shipnuck, who I have complete faith that those questions will be asked of the PGA leadership sooner rather than later. So as Pete said, look, you got a big event coming up. You got another major coming up. There's going to be a big spotlight on the PGA Tour, and I think there are going to be some real questions out there for him.